Riggsy here with another episode of the Worldwide Monthly Rotary News. This month is for December 2024, and we'll start off with the highlight. Well, the highlights. It's a tie. The first highlight of December, what I believe is the Mad Mike Summer Bash in New Zealand. We had the pleasure of attending the event, and what an event it was! Full credit to Mike and his team there. It was an amazing event. As soon as we walked in, there was just so much happening, there's drifting, there's burnouts, there's show and shine, there's those cool little RC drift cars cruising around. Bunch of people focused on them. That was awesome to see. The track cruising was the highlight for me. And then there was Jim Carner, which is cruising around on a concrete pad soaked in water to practice your drifting and stuff like that. Overall, just an amazing event. I had the pleasure of jumping in a couple of cars there to hit the track in the cruise. I don't know how many cars were on the track, but it was hundreds, that's for sure. Managed to lock down Mike there for a quick interview, which you can see over on our YouTube channel. The full Mad Mike Summer Bash video is over on the YouTube channel. We caught up with loads of customers. It was awesome. It was awesome to see all our parts on these cars that we've shipped from Canada to New Zealand for people to get their cars running and on the track, and our stickers on the cars as well. And it was just great to catch up with a bunch of customers. We did a full YouTube video on the event. We caught up with Scott and Josh from J&S Performance. Scott's got the Ederbach RX2 matte black coupe there with FU2 on the license plate, number plate, and Josh has got on meth 13B turbo. So I went for a cruise with Josh on the track, and that's definitely the fastest 323 hatchback I've ever been in. That thing is a rocket ship, I tell you. And those guys are just awesome guys, legends. Caught up with Hayden from Haywire Rotorsport, got an interview with him. He revealed his Series 2 RX supercharged RX-7 at the show. That was a real crowd stopper, that. Shout out to Julian Ogden. Definitely one of the funniest guys in the scene and a complete psycho on the track. Very, very good peddler. Really knows what he's doing. We had 4 people in his RX3 coupe, and he was drifting. He was the only one drifting in a cruise session, but just knows exactly what he's doing. Everything was under control, and that car is real fast. Bit of a sleeper. But we had 4 people in, so had quite a bit of weight in there, and it was just also a rocket ship. So shout out to Julian, really good customer, good vibes, funny guy. Caught up Robbie Longley. He's got the Green Brothers built 808 wagon, another very fast car. I know that does in the 10 seconds on the quarter mile when he's got it all set up for that. Caught up with Jay at Low Standards. I mean, that guy's just a great injection to the Rotary community. What he's doing and the vibes he brings, and always up for a chat and a yarn. We got a good interview with him about the Commodore, the yellow Commodore that he's got the Rotary in, PPRE built. Very nice car, and also very fast, because we when I was in the 323 hatch there on the track, we were giving him a bit of a stick and dragging with him a bit there, and then he did some burnouts, and apparently he's leaving the car in New Zealand for all the upcoming events over the year, so you'll be seeing that more often. And caught up with a couple of really good customers, Dan and Obiad, with their RX3 808 sedan and coupe. More interviews with them. But yeah, just another full credit to Mike and the team. You'll never see someone super successful by doing things in moderation, and that team have just gone over the top with what they're doing, and it's just it's great to see it. Look, they're moving down to the South Island here for another event, and so that'll be 2 events for the Mad Mike Summer Bash on the calendar. So that wraps up that event. I really recommend, if you can make it to New Zealand to some of these car shows, we're still in New Zealand here right now, we're leaving quite shortly. But if you can get down to these car shows like Chrome and Impulsive and Mad Mike's and Reunion and stuff like that, I really recommend it. Like, it's turn it into a holiday. It's a real highlight. So the second highlight, which is tied, I feel like, with Mad Mike's Summer Bash, was Rob Dahm getting the 12 rotor fired up. Like, it's an engineering marvel. You know, like, he's just a mad scientist, and we had a chance to interview Rob at Seven Stock and check out the 12 rotor in person. Like, had a good look at that engine in person, and there's just some crazy engineering on it. You know, the dual starters, the turbo configurations, the spark plug location, just crazy interesting. And just along with a lot of other parts on the engine build. Like, so many doubters. He had so many doubters. It was just, when it fired up, I just laughed because so many people calling him out. Like, he's a really funny guy. And we had a chance to, quickly on the interview we had with him, and off camera we had a chance to talk about his haters, which is just... Like, he's got obviously got millions of supporters, but there's quite a few haters, you know. And he says that they're great with social skills, and they're not great with social skills, but they all have something good to say. That was what he said. And then I said, the haters are only a trophy that winners get, Rob, you know, and you'll never be criticized by someone who's doing more than you. And then we just had a really good laugh about that, you know. And so it was just a big congratulations to Rob and his team for firing that thing up. We're obviously watching closely to see what's the future for it. He said that he's going to put it in a top fueler and try to go down the quarter mile. Be interesting to see how that turns out. Like, my first question was weight distribution, because that thing is super heavy. So he broke down the weight of it in the interview on our YouTube channel there. He calculated everything and got the weight. But yeah, I guess if you put it in a funny car, a top fueler, you could figure that out pretty good. And who knows what could happen in that moving forward with Rob. But he's probably taken a couple of minutes time out after his hectic schedule getting that thing running. So those were the two big highlights, and they were really big highlights, those two events there. Rob getting that 12 rotor going, and Mike and his Summer Bash. So it's just really good to see world-class things like that happening in the Rotary community in 2024. So now we'll move on to Bring a Trailer. We always do a monthly wrap-up. We'll do a monthly wrap-up of Bring a Trailer and what's sold and what's been listed on Bring a Trailer. There was one very interesting sale. Mazda Racing Team Europe Group B rally car. So that was our first gen RX-7. Located in Hawaii. Came over from Switzerland originally, and that sold for $117,000 USD. So you can get over to bringatrailer.com and have a look at the write-up on that car. It's just, I won't go into detail on here, but it's just phenomenal car, and $117,000 USD is quite the price tag for that vehicle. So there was 11 Rotaries sold in the month of December 2024. That's the exact same amount that was sold in November of the same year. 5 FBs ranged from 7,100 to 17,750, and then there was the $117,000 one. There was only two FCs sold. A Turbo 2 for $19,107, which is a good price tag. Remember, these are US dollars, and a GTU for $8,500. There was 3 FDs, $20,500, $34,250, and $36,000. And 1 Repu, that's the rotary engine pickup truck, went for $28,000, which was really good price. Like, I had a good look at that truck, and it looks really good when you first see it, but then if you dive into it, like, the bodywork wasn't the greatest. There was some bubbling and stuff like that, but still, you know, $28,000 USD. It was a good price for that truck, and you don't see them come up that often on Bring a Trailer. And so congratulations to the buyer on that truck. And there was no RX-8s. No RX-8s sold in the month of December. So to round off the year and compare sales back to 2022, so if we're going to compare 2004 to 2022 for sales on Bring a Trailer for the Rotaries, the FDs have had a slight drop, which is unusual. The FCs have also had a slight drop from 2022. The FBs had a slight increase, and the RX-8s had a substantial drop. So after seeing these figures, the FBs seem to be fetching really good money. Like they are going for really good money, especially the loaded models like the GSL or the GSL SE with low kilometers. You know, they're going up around 20 grand for a really good one USD, which is top dollar, and I'm sure the sellers are enjoying that. But I would recommend, if you're looking to invest, you know, you can pick up some of these FBs for 10 to 15 for a really nice one with low kilometers. And just going off the stats here, they're only going up in price. So yeah, the RX-8s are dropping in price, and you know, I just still don't think you can go wrong buying an FD for whatever amount of money. Like, those cars are going to always appreciate. That's my theory anyway, just after following Bring a Trailer closely. Okay, moving away from Bring a Trailer onto what's been happening at Riggs Vintage Mazda. Big news from Riggs Vintage Mazda out of the month of December. So we, as previously mentioned, we filmed the Mad Mike Summer Bash. That's over on the YouTube channel. We also did an in-studio podcast with Tim Wood, who's a pioneer of the New Zealand Mazda Rotary community, going way back into the 90s. We did that in the studio, and it was basically, it's more of a for the gurus kind of a podcast. It's talking about the Tim's cars from back in the day, and also the New Zealand scene and what it used to be like, and how it progressed, and what it's like now today. So that was just a really good insight on the New Zealand scene over the last 25, 30 years pretty much. And then after that, we went around to Tim's house, and he pulled out all his cars, and we shot a video of his workshop, his 3 RX3s and his 2 FDs. And that video is just gone off. Like, it's our most watched video on our channel by a long way. And Tim was a little bit dubious about it. He wasn't sure. And then now you just got to look at the views, and you can tell that everyone really appreciated Tim's attention to detail. He's a perfectionist, and like, the way he presents his cars is phenomenal. Like, it's just the day that we did the videoing and all that, everything was just perfect. Everything was blinging in the sun. Everything lined up just perfect. It was just such a well executed segment. So get over to the channel and check that out. Like, you won't be disappointed. Just definitely some goals for you guys out there with RX3s. Like, and Tim's always up for a chat too. You know, if you've got any questions, he knows RX3s and FDs inside out. So fire him off. I'm sure he won't mind me suggesting that. So we put up a big Christmas post on the page thanking everyone for their business and support throughout 2024. Like, as we said on the post there, we broke 50 countries, which is we actually shipped to 13 more countries than we did in 2023. And we mentioned all them, and we added the flags in, so hopefully customers, you can see your flag on the post there. There was a couple of extra countries that I wanted to shout out that are quite rare, that we don't ship to very often. Actually, the first time we shipped to them was in 2024. Those would be China. Like, we only shipped one part to China, but that's the first time we ever shipped to China, which is pretty crazy. And other countries were Romania, Sicily, Peru, Ecuador, Honduras, El Salvador, Wales. We actually shipped some parts to Wales for the first time, some FB stuff, because they got a few FBs over there in Britain. So there's a few of those guys cruising around. Stuff to Hungary, and that's just what I can think off the top of my head. But unusual countries that, Pakistan. Yeah, so we've got some customers in Pakistan. We shipped a few packages to Pakistan in 2024, and it was just FB and FC stuff, and United Arab Emirates as well. There's a couple of customers over there with RX3s and FCs. So, yeah, put all sides of the globe there, all corners of the globe. Really good. Other like really, really big news out of Riggs Vintage Mazda is the bulk parts purchase we did with Ozcan Industries, Duncan Wood over there at Ozcan. You can see his videos over on our channel as well. Yeah, so we basically, Duncan made a post, and then after he made the post, we mentioned it ourselves about 20-foot sea can that was just stacked to the roof like Tetris, really, like packed in there. You'll be able to go over and see that on the Canada Rotary page or our page. But don't worry, like Ozcan is still in full business. Duncan just felt like a bit of a cleanup to make room for customer cars, customer builds, and new inventory. He's still going strong as ever. He just had a lot of stuff stashed, taking up a lot of room, and now he's cleared out that space, and he can just roll cars in, build engines, do whatever his customers around Toronto are looking for him to do, and gather more inventory. That's what he loves to do, and that's what he's going to continue to do. So it's actually quite amazing how much the Ozcan team continuously gets done in such a short amount of time. You know, it reminds me of a certain quote. If no one is telling you to slow down, it means you're moving at the same pace as everyone else. If you've never been told by others that they're worried about you working so hard, you're another mediocre member of society like everyone else. And that's like the Ozcan team. They just, you know, you're doing business with them as a pleasure, and it just happened like that, and boom, 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 done. Like, that's the way we like to do it, and we've been collaborating with Ozcan for quite a while, and we are looking forward to collaborating with them more in the future. Instead of competition, we call it co-opetition. That's the new word for Riggs Vintage Mazda, co-opetition. Now we'll move over to Puerto Rican news, some stuff coming out of Puerto Rico. Well, it's the Puerto Ricans racing in Orlando mainly. We've got some fastest times here. Fastest all-motor 13B is Andrea Performance, 7.775 at 170.07. That's a fast all-motor 13B. The fastest stick shift, La Mala, that's a 13B, 9.142 at 143.73. So that's manual stick shift. Going down the quarter. And the fastest active street rod, 13B, Shrek, is the car, 6.548 at 205.63. And RVM are actually currently planning a trip to Puerto Rico. So any of you Puerto Ricans that are watching along want to meet up and have a chat, maybe go for a cruise or go to a car event, or come around and see your shop, have a chat, just talk about everything Rotary. Hit us up. We'll come on down. Moving over to Australia. We already talked about Jay at Low Standards, but he's actually just finished his Mazda party bus. So he put a Rotary in one of those Mazda Parkway looking buses there, and took it to the Summer Nats and got all sorts of attention, had all the crew in there cruising around. So Jay's always doing something cool over there at Low Standards. And we had a good chat with him there at Mags Mike's Summer Bash. It was awesome. We can see the pack guys are doing in December, we're doing the school formal drop-offs. Well, for the Americans out there, that would be a prom, this high school prom. It's always good to see the Rotaries partaking in something like that. We actually did this back in the day. We'd take the kids to the prom and the Rotaries, and it was always awesome to see the reactions of the teachers when the pulsing Rotors would turn up at the school ball. Yeah, it's good. It's just good times. Yeah, so that's pretty much it from the Australian and the Puerto Rican side, and basically that's a wrap for the month of December 2024. Actually, I have some stuff to show. The Kiwis might appreciate this. just some things here. 2000 Nationals when I entered the Rotary in at Mary in New Zealand. The old summer drags. It's the very first Skid Fest. You Kiwis will remember this. What a time that was. And an old pink sticker that I got for a defective vehicle on the road in New Zealand. Kept all this stuff. All kept from back in the day there in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I'm sure the Kiwi boys will appreciate some of that, and I'm sure you've all got some stuff stashed away too. Actually even got the old ticket from the foreign Rotaries in 2005. So yeah, thanks very much for watching along, all you Rotary enthusiasts out there, and stay tuned for what's happening in January 2025 to kick off the year, and we will post that up at the start of February. Thank you very much for all your support. Riggsy signing out. Thank you.